Yo ninjas, welcome back to the show. NINJABOX is still doing, and what did you ninjas eat today? Yes, time for another drawing video. So for this drawing video, drawing a simple
Target! Hit execute! I just want to make manga. What do you want in life?
NINJAKEES. Simple girl testing out some new ink that I got and see how it works. It's just a little drawing practice kind of thing, something simple. So sit back, relax, and enjoy. So right now I'm gonna react to the drawing that I made. This is a simple drawing of a testing out a new ink bottle by drawing a simple manga girl. So for this drawing, I drew a simple drawing just to draw, you know, because I've been on a sort of break, I guess, and yeah, just make some content out here for you ninjas. So for this one, I made a simple sketch first. You know, starting the thing is mostly the same. It's like a pencil. I use a pencil here, 2B mostly, and then sketching out the face. What I wanted to draw. At first, I didn't even know what I wanted to draw. And then, you know, just figuring shit out, you know, as, yeah, going along, you know. I'm not sure if you need just draw there over there, and if you draw, like... So sometimes if you don't know what to draw exactly, just do it. Just draw what you can, and then go from there. Then draw more stuff or whatever. For this one, I wanted to make something simple in a not too long of a time to, you know, to create something for you ninjas and to have a video out that you can watch with some audio. You know, sometimes just with making stuff, by making it, by doing it, then you decide your decisions while doing it, you know, not really plan every single piece in advance because it's part of the craft, the creation. You don't have to plan everything, every detail right away, maybe the general stuff. For this one, it was like, okay, draw something simple that you can ink in a short amount of time, you know. This was like about 33 minutes for completely finishing it. Yeah, I start mostly with the draft, the sketch. And also with the sketch, as you can see here right now, I made it a little bit like sort of a heart shape, you know, to keep it simple. Like also to, like you can also just draw the upper body, for example, and then either just stop with the lower piece. But I thought it would be a bit cool or neat. I don't know what exactly. But just a sort of symbolism in it, you know, by sort of a design getting out of it, you know, to keep it simple, by doing that symbol thing, a sort of like you don't have to draw the rest kind of thing as well necessarily. But yeah, not sure if I just wanted to make some girl or whatever. Also looked a bit of on Google reference for a bit of imagination sparkling, you know, for in the mind. And yeah, it's a bit of anime-ish with the eyes and stuff, you know, big eyes. And I guess if you don't know exactly what to draw, just draw something or some girl. Yeah, I'm not sure what more to say about the sketch. Just leave me in the comments if you have any thoughts about it. Also figuring out the hairstyle, you know, how it works. I tried some braids at some point. It's not exactly correct like normal braids. Like when I was searching for girls on Google reference, you know, what to draw, I saw this girl with some braids. I thought, oh, let's just put it in. And yeah, not sure if everywhere the hair lines are correctly the way they are shaped, you know, if the hair flows actually like the drawing. But it's important to do it, practice it, or, you know, figure it out. And if you don't know with reference is handy, or just, But I guess you get the point that this is a girl with hair, titties, a heart-shaped thing. And yeah, there's not much else to it, I guess. It's just doing it, even if it's, it doesn't have to be all that too complicated. Yes, cheers. Ishhh. And I also like stars, so I use some stars on the bra, on the titties. Yeah, just basically drew what came to mind the fastest, or like I could draw a cross, but I thought, nah, not a cross. Or what else? A triangle, circle, a symbol basically is something, or maybe a face. I used to draw on another drawing a sort of a face on it, like it's just a design, I think it's cool to design, like in your bra, for example, or any clothes, some sort of uniqueness to it, like that you can instantly see that it's sort of different, maybe, or some cool design on it, or just a simple cross or a star. What more do you have? Diamond. Yeah. But yeah, basically it's just doing it. Some blushes around the eyes, some blush, a bit of cute face, a bit sad looking if you can see the eyebrows, that innocence or whatever, or cuteness, I guess. I also made a necklace with a cross, because just random, I guess. I didn't want to be like a Christian cross, but more like a different type. A normal cross, but sideways. Not a plus, but like an X kind of thing. All right, let's move over to the inking. So for this one, I used Pelican Ink. I got this bottle at Germany on vacation. I didn't bring any ink bottles on vacation when I was there a few weeks ago. The plan was to ink there for a bit, but when I got the ink, I never used it there because doing other shit, or not inking with ink, but other ink, just pens and ink, not dipping in the ink, because it's more troublesome, I guess, for certain moments. So yeah, then found the spot to finally use this ink bottle and see how it works, just testing it out. I've never used this type of ink before, and I guess you can draw any ink drawing with it if it just works, You can, it's not, if it works, you can use it, it's about the person that use it, not the tools necessarily. Okay, some tools you can better use for certain things than other tools. Like, I wouldn't recommend to use a hammer to make your sandwiches or whatever, and it's probably handy to use a knife or whatever to cut it open or smear your butter on it. It really depends, but yeah, you can probably do it with a hammer, but it's probably not the best way to do that. But I guess you know what I mean, right? You can, like when drawing, you can draw with many kinds of things, but it also depends on what you want for the execution of it. Like, how do you want to execute it? Do you want to have a, like for this one, I wanted to use the G pen because I wanted to make that manga kind of thing, Mostly in Japan they use the G pen, mostly common in Japan with manga artists. When drawing traditional, not all of them draw traditional, or maybe do it mixed media, draw certain things traditional and other things digital. There are many ways, some of them do everything digital, But for me, with manga making, I also prefer to use the G pen. I just love it to draw with the G pen, and also the pros use that. And you can get certain lines with the G pen that is harder, or yeah, harder to do with other stuff. Like the fine liners, you can do it. Like making more lines to get the thickness from thin to thick and thick to thin kind of lines. Like the pressure point thing. Like the G pen is sort of a pencil, basically, but with ink. You also have the smaller G pen. What was it called? The Maru pen or the Saji pen, one of them. Well, there are 3 types, or mostly, that you can use. Well, there are many types you can use. You don't only have to use the G pen. Sometimes I also used mixed other pens or whatever to mix it up, you know, for certain parts. It really depends. But for the main lines, for the characters, I want to draw with the G pen. It can be troublesome sometimes. Troublesome, yeah. Because it smudges if you forget that you inked it and it's still wet, or you're just really into the inking and then just forget, like... Yeah, then you smudge it. Smudge. But for this one, love to draw with the G pen and practicing the ink, you know, how it works. But so far, it is like most manga ink. I've not tested out with Copic markers yet, so I'm not sure if that works together. Sometimes when you use ink with a bottle dipping ink kind of things, and you go over it with Copic markers, it doesn't always go nicely. You know, sometimes the ink gets mixed with the colors, so then that's not what you want, or at least yeah, like let's say you color with red and then there gets black ink mixed into it, and then it's not the color that you intended. So it's also to keep in mind when inking, you know, if the ink is water-based or whatever, Copic, there's this word. Basically the material that doesn't get mixed if you use Copic markers over the ink. Or you can just scan your inked drawing in, print it out on a separate paper, and color your drawing on that. That's also what I sometimes do for those cases, you know. Or if there's an error or something, the head is too big or whatever, some anatomically shit, you can easily fix on the PC. So yeah, for me, I use it mixed sometimes. But for this one, I wanted to keep it fully traditional, and also to get it done, you know. The pros, the pro manga artist can also just make it traditional completely, and it looks great. Yeah, man. So yeah, inking with the G pen can be fun. Unless you smudge it a lot. So yeah, ninjas, have you ever drawn with a G pen? Or are you into manga making? Or want to make it? Or draw something else with it? You know, comics or whatever. Doesn't necessarily have to be for manga. It can also be for other stuff. Or maybe use a different type of ink pen. Or just the multi-liners, the fine liners, you know, Sakura, and what's the other name? The brand, you know, the brands, different types of brands, those that you see a lot. Like Copic multiliner, water and Copic proof. So that's something that you want if you want to color with Copic markers over the drawing. You can also just use the sketch first, color with Copic marker, and then later add the black lines. Or maybe use different colors, you know, that's also an option. using different colors. But yeah, that's yeah, drawing stuff, you know. Just doing it. For me, I procrastinate a lot, or I'm a bit stuck sometimes with life and shit. Like, yeah. It's also a bit meditating when you draw without music or other shit on. Like, I like to draw also with movies on or something that I've seen more times. Just playing it, not necessarily watch it all the time, but just hearing it or something. You also hear the dialogue, so that's also handy for if you make a story. Maybe you can absorb some shit from the movies, put it in your own work, or similar things, you know, quotes or whatever, or the way they talk, like with Pulp Fiction or whatever, Jurassic Park. There's always certain movies that's really fun for me to watch. Do you have any movies that you watch more than once? You know, just put it on and work on your shit. Now speaking to the people that actually make shit, maybe you don't draw at all. That's also a possibility. Maybe you clean the house when you know, or turn on a podcast when drawing, or cleaning the house or whatever. Mostly it's probably physical stuff, you know, right? Like when you can listen to other stuff. Like let's say you want to read a book. It's not that I need to listen in at the same time to a podcast or something like that. But yeah, or maybe if you're running, you know, sports, then it's good to listen to something. And you don't have to listen to music. You can also listen to audiobooks or whatever. Learning while exercising or walking, you know, doing whatever. It reminds me, I have to still charge my MP3 for the music when going outside again. Today it's raining quite a lot. Used to last few days were quite nice, but now it's getting to the what's it called? Spring? No, after summer. Autumn? Autumn, yeah, that's the word, right? Autumn. Autumn, it's getting autumn. Oh wait, it's already autumn, I believe. So winter's coming soon then. You guys planning for anything for Halloween? There's also this Inktober thing, but I don't think I will participate. You know, you can ink any day like this, but yeah, I believe it's intended for people that don't ink a lot, and then they can practice it, make it sort of a global challenge that everybody can see then. And if you use it on social medias, maybe you get more followers by participating because of using the hashtags for Inktober. So you can get found if you make some good shit. Yeah, it's probably also one of the reasons why people do it. You know, like this sort of event of artists that ink, and then, you know, having words that you can make a drawing with. But you don't have to do it only with Inktober, but it's still a fun thing to participate in. I used to do it, but then later I thought, like, whatever. You know, like for example, all the manga artists in Japan have to make well, not all of them, but for example, let's say the shonen manga artists in Japan that have to publish weekly. They do every day Inktober. It's like the full year. Inktober year. Oh wait, then it's, yeah, like what? Yeartober? No wait, ink year. Inktober. Tober stands for ink. October. So ink year. What? No, but I'm talking now, for example, about the Shonen Jump, where Dragon Ball, One Piece, Naruto, Bleach, all those shonen manga are published. I lately found out that with Fairy Tail, Hiro Mashima draws digital, or at least there's this Discovery short video that was shared a lot on Facebook, and it was about Hiro Mashima, the creator of Fairy Tail. That's like also an anime or manga from Japan. But I mostly thought that he was also inking traditional. But then I saw that he was for the new one. What was it? Fairy Tail 100 Years or something. The new Fairy Tail series. That he is inking digital, or maybe his assistants or something. Like it's the traditional. He did the Nemu, the manuscript, the pilot, or the draft of the manga. But then I saw digitally they also made the lines of the manga themselves. You know, just drawing it full digital. Not sure if it was true what I saw there, but I think he also drew traditional. Maybe he shifted from, because I saw some syntax, how the hell you want to call it. You know, those big ass drawing tablets, you know, that you can literally put your pen on, your digital pen, and draw on. But I guess it's just about the result. You know, if you can get the results, it's also faster to do digitally, and it's easier to manipulate your drawings and stuff. But there's something about traditional that has this magic touch, I feel. Well, yeah, I guess it doesn't matter too much always, but it's just this feeling of drawing traditional. It's just magic. But yeah, that doesn't mean that digital shit is not good or whatever. It's also drawing with the hand. If you do it digital, like, but with a digital pen, that's it. But the execution is maybe a bit different. Like sometimes you can clearly see it's whether something is digital or not. But for the new Fairy Tail stuff, or the, what was it called? Zero, something with Zero, his new show. And the other one, Fairy Tail 100 Years or something. But I didn't see it. I thought it was just traditional, but it seems to be then digital, I guess. Yeah. But I'm entirely sure if it's correct. But from what I saw from the video, it seemed that way. Okay, let's skip a bit to this. So over here I got the Maru pen, or the, I think it's the Maru pen. It's the smaller G pen basically for the details. So you have the G pen for the more thicker lines for the character, and then you have the Maru pen, and that's for the smaller detailed lines. You know, you can also do everything with the Maru pen, for example. I guess it's more with the shonen stuff that you use a lot of the G pen for the thicker lines for the characters. Mostly the G pen is for characters because they the lines are thicker, if you know, and characters needs to get to the front of the story, like they are the characters. Through the characters you tell a story, so those characters are important to bring to the forefront certain points in the panels of the manga, you know. Unless there's only environment or something. But I guess it depends on the situation where you're at. Yeah, sometimes I also stop with drawing. Just analyzing a bit and what can be improved on the drawing, you know. Like, what's next? What do we miss? Where can I improve this drawing? Or what do I see what I forgot? Or something that can be added in the drawing, or, yeah, changed to make it look better in my personal ninja opinion eyes. Because in the end, It's all just an opinion and taste, you know, whether this drawing is good or not. But the only thing you can control is making drawings. And make the best out of it with the time you have for a certain piece. Like a piece with more hours probably look better than less, depending on many things. But let's say you only use the same tools, and you put more time in something, it's probably looking better. It's also like this thing with clients and stuff, you know. Like you had this popular artist thing, like, okay, when a client says, yeah, draw me this or that, and then you just send like, okay, this I can make for 1 minute. So this is the quality, what I can do in 1 minute, 10 minutes, 1 hour or whatever. So you can see the difference, like the exact same thing, but with less time. You know, let's say I had to draw this in 1 minute, it looks more shitty than, for example, 33 minutes. But if I had more minutes, can probably make it better, you know. So there's also that thing. How much time do you have for a drawing? How much time can you put into it, you know? And you can also practice that you can be faster making more epic shit. So let's say you can now only draw this in 20 minutes, then later you can do it in maybe 10 minutes or even 5 minutes. But if something is complicated for you, you don't know how to draw it right away from the mind, then it's harder. So you have to figure out first how to draw it. But if you learn basic drawing shit, you can draw anything. Like knowing perspective and everything. Figures. Yeah, man. I have to practice more. Yeah. So this drawing's mostly done. At the ending, I use for the hair some pen lines with just a normal regular pen. I normally write with this pen because it writes just so smooth and nicely. Since I found out about this pen, I just only get this pen to write, you know. It's a really good pen. But you can also do some drawing shit with it. I'm not sure if this pen will be compatible with Copic markers when inking. And also checking out with a tissue to see whether this drawing is dry or not. And ready for erasing, you know, erasing the pencil lines. But something happened when erasing. That will happen in a few seconds. And oh, yeah, there it goes. And oh, erasing some shit. Sometimes I have trouble with erasing. Yeah, look. Watch. Okay, here it comes. Oh, yeah, there it comes. And there it goes. It was too wet or something. So made a happy accident here. Yeah, maybe erased too hard. But some paper got off of the thing, so I had to redo this part. Happy accidents. Like Bob Ross, yeah. I hate when that shit happens, but yeah, it happens. Nothing to do about it now. And yeah, you cannot say, oh yeah, should you have drawn digital, man? Then you didn't have that. Yeah, that's true. But then you cannot ink traditional. Yeah, decisions. What are you gonna do? But the traditional things are also too fixed. Maybe if I haven't showed you it, you never saw it in the end result. You know, like Traditional Photoshop layers. But yeah, that's mostly for this drawing. This is... I guess it looks still not too bad if you see it for the first time. Maybe if you watch closely you see it. But yeah, if it was on the eye, that would be more fucked up. I guess because the inking was maybe a little bit still wet at that part. And when inking, erasing too hard, it gets loose. But yeah. That is this manga, a simple manga girl with drawing with the ink. Also, let me know in the comments what name I should give her, or if you want to give her a name, just let me know. And yeah, if you have any thoughts in the comments or something, just leave it down below. And if you're drawing or whatever, you know. So yes, ninjas, thanks for watching once again. Thank you to all the patrons that supported me and my content once again. And thank you to everybody that watches this content. If you want, share it to someone or comment something down below. Are you drawing? Want to draw? Or any other thoughts? Just let me know in the comments. Alright, that's it for this one, ninjas. Thank you for joining once again. NINJABOX is chilly, and see you ninjas the next time. NINJAKEES out.